Hey guys, Chad here from CNR Reviews. We're going to be doing another pistol comparison today, and we have the Bersa Bp9cc. This guy is fairly new to us, and it's also fairly new on the market. It's been out for a little less than a year. And we have the Beretta Nano. The Beretta Nano, as you guys have been, if you've been following our channel, you know we've had a lot of fun with the Nano. It's been a very interesting review for us. It's had a couple trips back to the factory, and so far, guys, it's been running perfect from its second trip. So we'll just get that out of the way. Let's talk about some real quick features on both these guns. Then we're going to weigh them. We're going to actually compare sizes of them. And then at the end, we'll talk about price. Let's go ahead and let's start with the Bersa. Now the Bersa has 3-dot combat sights on it. They are unique in the fact that they can be replaced. The rear sight with a Glock rear sight, and the front sight with a SIG factory sight. That's kind of unique, and I think that's kind of smart of Bersa to do that. Fortunately, it's hard to find a rear Glock sight by itself, so just if you could find one, great. It does have 2 magazines. They are both 8+1 capacity, so a total of 9 rounds in this weapon. It is a polymer framed pistol, has a little Picatinny rail here. And other than that, it's a pretty basic gun. It's supposed to be very simple. You want to carry this gun and be able to just pull it and pull the trigger and get around on an assailant if need be. And Bersa makes it very easy to do so. Just one thing to be kind of concerned about, and we'll just go over that, is the trigger. This has got to be one of the lightest triggers I've ever felt on any of the subcompacts. As you guys can see, it doesn't have the typical safety trigger. And the gun also doesn't have a manual safety. I'll just show you the real quick trigger. If you push at the top, it doesn't do anything. But the moment you start to pivot that trigger, it's got a little bit just a slack right there, it breaks immediately. It's got to be, like I said, one of the lightest triggers I have felt. Even when I compare it to my Glock 26, it's got to be under 5 pounds. So other than that, it does have an ambidextrous magazine release. You can press it either way. Seems to work just fine, and guys, it's a great gun. It has ran awesome for us, and we're very pleased with Bersa. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and let's talk about the Beretta Nano. The Beretta Nano has also been out on the market for a little less than a year. This is one of the more popular subcompact guns at the moment, along with the M&P Shield and the Springfield XDS. Let's go ahead and let's talk about the features of it. It's got some unique features that a lot of the other guns don't have. First of all, it doesn't have a slide catch or slide release. It's just flat there. And in some ways I thought I was going to miss that, but the more I used the gun, the more I found I did not. Actually, I actually liked not having it, because if I was pocket carrying it or holster carrying it, it was just one less thing for my clothes to hang up on or to touch. It does have a very simple mag release that is interchangeable, where you can put it on for a lefty if you're a lefty. As far as a takedown button, screw, something, whatever it's called, lever, it's got a very simple takedown. And all you do is you rotate the flathead about a quarter of a turn. There's a little mark, and the slide comes off as long as the weapon has been decocked. Now, if you want to decock the weapon without dry firing it, they also have a little tiny button to press. It's right here. You can press that button with a little punch or something, and it will decock the weapon. 3-dot combat sights. Beretta does have night sights for this gun, and they are very easily replaced. I may do a video of that in the future if I can get my hands on some of them. Other than that, let's talk about the trigger. Let's go ahead and we'll charge the weapon. It's got a Glock type safety trigger, and actually I really like how the trigger is beveled on the edges. But you have that little safety button here, which you press on it, just a tad bit of slack, and then a nice crisp clean pull all the way to the rear. It's very smooth, and I actually like the trigger once you get used to it. This gun can be very accurate, and it's a phenomenal trigger if you practice with it. The very first time I actually shot it, I didn't really care for it. I shot low, and I was pulling the gun low every time. And like I said, once I practiced with it, I believe after the second range trip, I was going, wow, for it being so small, I'm surprised how accurate this gun truly is. So guys, let's go ahead and let's do a size comparison of this gun, of both of these. Well, the Bersa is considerably bigger than the Nano. As you guys can see, actually we even need to move the Nano further back. There you go. So you're looking at a difference of over a half inch easy on slide length. As far as width goes, the Bersa also looks to be a little bit thicker than the Nano. Now the Nano has kind of an optical illusion going on because it is kind of bricky. It looks like a brick on top, and the Bersa kind of bevels on the edges, so it gives you that optical illusion that the Bersa is thinner. Plus, you have to take into consideration the slide lock slide release. That's going to protrude as well. So, as far as length goes, then it wins out to the Nano. The Nano is considerably smaller. Let's look at height of the mags. Let's go ahead and do this. And there you go. The Beretta Nano is also considerably shorter. Now remember, the Bersa does have a 2-round addition to the Nano, where you can carry 9 rounds total, and with the Nano you can only carry a total of 7. So that is part of that extra length. Let's also look at the width of the grip. Again, the width on the Beretta is just a little bit thinner. The Nano is just a tad bit thicker, and this one is also wearing a set of Talon grips. Both the grips are very comfortable on these guns, and recoil management is definitely benefited by the phenomenal grips that both of them have. I recommend you adding the Talon grips to the Nano. It just makes it that much nicer to grip this gun. All right, guys, that's a real quick size comparison. Let's do the weight comparison. Now, we weigh all of our guns as if they were loaded. I'm using 124 grain American Eagle rounds. Let's go ahead and start with the Nano. Remember, we have a total of 6+1 capacity. Add the gun. 7 rounds are going on there. Now, the weight will change depending on the type of round that you use. If you use a different grainage or something, it will go up or down. So with the 124 grain rounds, 1 mag and the gun, you're looking at a total weight of 23 ounces exactly. It's exactly 23 ounces. So to me, that's a very good weight. You can definitely conceal that when you consider that a lot of people have been using like the more famous Glock 26, weighing in at over 26 ounces. So if you can conceal the Glock, you can easily conceal the Nano, and it does kind of melt away in your pocket. Let's do the Bersa Bp9cc. You got the 1 mag, the gun, and you have a total of 9 rounds. So, oops. 8 and 9. Alright, I have a weight of 24.8 ounces. Now remember, it's going to differ if you use 147 grain. Maybe you like to use the new Critical Duty 134 grain, I believe it is. It's going to go up. If you put 115 grain on this, it's going to go down. So to me, 24.8 ounces, that's still pretty good. And you can definitely conceal the gun. It's not going to be too heavy. But it is almost 2 ounces heavier than the Nano. Alright guys, so to end the video, let's talk about the price of these guns. They're both very comparable in price. I have seen the Nano go for well over $400. Unfortunately, I haven't seen too much of the Bersa. The Bersa to me came out at a really bad time. It's kind of been overshadowed by the release of the Shield, the Springfield XDS, the SIG 938, even the Beretta Nano. I had a really hard time finding one, and when I did find one, I wasn't too crazy about it, so I didn't buy it, thinking that at some point in the future I would be able to get my hands on one, and they would be easier to find. Unfortunately, the one that I saw initially sat in the case for months, and ended up picking it up, and it's kind of a shame that they're not more popular, because this gun is a phenomenal gun. It's got the proper size, it feels very good when you shoot it, it's been extremely reliable, and I believe this is Bersa's first offering of a polymer pistol. Bersa, you did a great job, and I really got to say thanks. The gun has performed great. Now the Beretta Nano, like I said, we've had some issues with this gun. It's made 2 trips back to the factory, but that does not mean that everybody's had the same issues. We've heard from both sides where some guys are saying the gun's been perfect for them, and others saying they've had issues with the gun. Beretta ended up replacing the extractor, polishing up the chamber, and the gun has ran perfect ever since then. And I've put an additional almost 300 rounds through the gun since then, and the gun has continued to run perfect. So I'm assuming I had a faulty extractor. Maybe there was a chip in it. Maybe it was not formed properly. I don't know, but that's just speculation. But ever since it's been replaced, the gun has ran great. Like I said, as far as price goes, I've seen these guys go well over 400 bucks. I picked this one up for, I believe it was about $370 at Sportco and Fife, which I thought was a great deal. It may have been $360, but it was around there. So as far as price goes, they're very similar. You're going to find the Bersa for about $360, $370, and it's also going to fall into the same category as the Car CW9, the Car CM9. It's also going to fall into the same category price range as the M&P Shield. So these are both great subcompact guns. Once Beretta got the Nano fixed, like I said, it's been absolutely perfect, and we've heard a lot of great comments on the Nano of it running perfect for other people. Beretta does honor their warranty, and they do take care of stuff. Now, I don't know about the warranty on the Bersa because it's been perfect. We haven't had any issues with it. I think out of the total, over 400 rounds through the gun, we had 1 light strike, and it was a bad primer on the round. The round would not go off, no matter how many times we recycled it through the guns. So, other than that, guys, both great guns. Check them both out. If you have any questions regarding either one of them, feel free to ask. Bersa Bp9cc, don't overlook this gun. And check out the Beretta Nano as well. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. This is Chad from CNR Reviews, and have a good day.